This is your evening news.
Good evening. It's Friday, July 2022, the 22nd. I'm Maya Chung. It's now time for the 5 o'clock newscast from the Suncity News Center. And here are some of the stories coming up in the news this afternoon. On the national scene, the St. Catherine Health Department is again able to test levels of chlorine in piped water. In the region, CARFA receives additional support from the United States government to implement a campaign to improve vaccination coverage. On the international scene, Neil Armstrong's footprint still visible on Moon's surface after 53 years. And in sports, KL Rahul doubtful for West Indies T20 International Series after BCCI president confirms batter tested COVID positive. Stay with us. We'll have these and more right after this. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. The St. Catherine Health Department says it is again able to test the levels of chlorine in piped water in the parish. The Health Department's water quality inspector reported last month that there was a challenge in procuring the reagent, leading to concern that water quality in the parish could be compromised. However, the chemical used to carry out the test arrived in the island on Thursday. Dennis Douglas, Deputy Chief Public Health Inspector for the parish, provided the update at Thursday's meeting of the Health and Sanitization Committee of the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation. And continuing on, CARICOM Ministers of Agriculture hold talks. The Council for Trade and Economic Development, COTED, is meeting today, Friday, or rather has met today, Friday, July 22, to continue deliberations on advancing the Caribbean Community CARICOM Food Systems Agenda. K. Diane Crooks has more.
At the just concluded 49th meeting of the Conference of CARICOM Heads of Government, heads mandated the quoted to look at initiatives and programs that will remove non-tariff barriers to intra-regional trade. The discussion today will therefore seek to move this mandate forward by rationalizing several attendant issues, including the approval of the draft CARICOM trade policy for animals and animal products. COTED will also advance matters arising from the Ministerial Task Force on Food Protection and Food Security (MTF), which is tasked with accelerating the CARICOM agri-food system agenda to address the current food security challenges and rising food prices. The MTF is also responsible for rationalizing a pathway for CARICOM to achieve its 25 by 25 vision, which is the reduction of its food import bill by 25% by the year 2025. CARICOM Ministers of Agriculture are also expected to discuss intra-regional market access from extra-regional sources, the role of private sector investment in agriculture, and issues pertaining to the Common External Tariff CET. From the Suncity News Center, I'm K. Diane Crooks.
And thank you so much for that report, Kadan. In news out of Port of Spain, Trinidad this week, the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARFA, hosted a ceremony to highlight its most recent alliance with two international agencies. Through a partnership with the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, and the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, CARFA will be developing and implementing a sub-regional COVID-19 vaccination campaign to sensitize parents, caregivers, and adolescents about the benefits of immunization. As COVID 19 restrictions ease throughout the region, the communications campaign will serve as a timely reminder to improve vaccination coverage within the countries of the Caribbean region. The funds, totaling US $70,000, will assist in the implementation of activities aimed at accelerating the COVID 19 vaccination uptake. The $70,000 donation is part of the US $1.5 million COVID 19 assistance announced by USAID in March this year for countries in the Eastern Caribbean region, including Trinidad and Tobago, the Bahamas, Barbados, Guyana, and Suriname. The ceremony, which took place on July 20, 2022, at the start of the CARFA Technical Advisory Committee meeting, was chaired by Dr. Mark Sammy, Director of Corporate Services at CARFA. In attendance were Dr. Joy St. John, Executive Director of CARFA, Shante Moore, Charge d'Affaires of the Embassy of the United States of America, Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Alana Shuri, and COVID 19 coordinator for the USAID, Eastern and Southern Caribbean, Jemima Wilson, Social Policy Officer, UNICEF Office for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, as well as members of the Technical Advisory Committee. In her opening remarks, CARFA's Executive Director, Dr. Joy St. John, stated prior to the COVID 19 pandemic, the Caribbean was a worldwide leader in vaccination achievements, eliminating polio and achieving vaccination coverage rates over 90 to 95% for routine childhood vaccinations. Access to safe, reliable vaccines has proven to be the most effective way of preventing severe illness and death since the start of the COVID 19 pandemic. Alongside the public health safety measures employed by all of society, vaccination has helped the region survive this pandemic. Dr. St. John further stated the wave of a vaccine hesitancy, which the Caribbean watched sweep over North America and Europe over the last decade, also arrived on the shores of the Caribbean as the number of cases of COVID 19 increased. And just 2 years into the pandemic, data is already revealing some erosion of hard-fought gains made over the years in routine vaccination programs across the member states. In closing, Dr. St. John assured the partners that CARFA will work with the beneficiary countries to help them achieve the World Health Organization WHO recommended target of 70% full immunization rate against COVID-19. Shante Moore, charged affairs at the U.S. Embassy Port of Spain, underscored, saying, quote, "The aim of this collaboration is to accelerate COVID-19 vaccine uptake among adults and children in the Caribbean. This is where CARFA, as the leading health authority and coordinator in the Caribbean region, is uniquely positioned to provide guidance and assistance to Caribbean countries on methods and messaging to increase vaccination coverage." He said, as the saying goes, local problems need local solutions, and that defines the spirit of this collaboration with this funding. CARFA will develop and implement a sub-regional campaign to improve vaccination coverage. Continuing in the same report, the United States government is pleased to be associated with the initiative and took the opportunity to restate its commitment to assist the people of Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean at large to overcome COVID-19. Ms. Jemima Wilson, Social Policy Officer of UNICEF, Office for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, said, quote, "This ambitious partnership between CARFA, UNICEF, and USAID will build on and cement an already fruitful collaboration aimed at mitigating ravages of COVID-19. She continued, "We are all aware that vaccination is one of the ways for the Caribbean to put this devastating pandemic in its rearview mirror, reclaim Caribbean people's everyday life, and look to the future with confidence and optimism. Progress has most certainly been made to date, but we are a far cry from where we need to be in four of the countries and territories in the Eastern Caribbean. For example, the percentage of those fully vaccinated ranges between just 28% to 38%. This has to change, and UNICEF is committed to working with CARFA and USAID to redouble its efforts to ensure that all Caribbean children grow up healthy without COVID, end quote. In 2021, CARFA received an ultra cold freezer from the United States Embassy in Port of Spain, which is part of a donation which includes laboratory supplies, laboratory coats, and scrubs. Moving into entertainment news at this time, top trending dancehall DJ Skeng has hit a home run with his single London, which has found favor with critics at the Guardian newspaper. K. Diane Crooks gives us that story.
The UK-based publication has included the single on its Songs of Summer 2022 list. The song, which was reportedly written in celebration of Skeng's first UK tour, has been likened to the popular London-centric rap style like UK drill. Though the song appears to be about gang and gun violence, it has become a party staple and can be heard blasting from cars and loudspeakers in areas such as Hackney. The official music video for London was shot in the UK and has topped 8.4 million YouTube views. London is not the first song by a Jamaican artist to make the Guardian's Song of Summer list. Coffee's Toast and Sean Paul's Get Busy are featured on their greatest ever songs for summer list. For the Suncity News Center, I'm K. Diane Crooks.
Thanks, K. Diane. In business, Standard & Poor's, the international rating agency, has confirmed Trinidad and Tobago's credit rating at BBB negative, triple B negative, and brought its outlook from negative to stable. According to a statement issued by the Trinidad and Tobago's Ministry of Finance, this new rating is an investment grade rating reflective of the credit strength of the country. The Guardian said the Finance Ministry notes that the, quote, stable outlook comes in light of the recent and prospective developments in the economy and its resiliency against multiple shocks. Minister of Finance Combe Imbert, MP, views the development as positive. Minister Imbert said in the Finance Ministry statement that this is the first time over the last 15 years that S&P takes a positive action on Trinidad and Tobago. He said Trinidad and Tobago is a safe harbor for investors. Minister Imbert says he's confident of more upgrades to come to Trinidad and Tobago's rating status. And in more business focus this afternoon, in foreign exchange trading news for Friday, July 22, 2022, the day's foreign exchange trading ended with $1 retailing for $153.40. The Canadian closed the trading day at $123.77, while the pound sterling retails at $185. News farther afield. On the 53rd anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing, NASA shared some footage from the time when Neil Armstrong scripted history by becoming the first person to step on the moon. His footprints on the moon are still visible. Besides Neil Armstrong, the mission also featured astronauts Edwin Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins. The footage shows the tracks left by the astronauts are still present on the lunar surface even after all these years. Along with the footage, NASA wrote, "It's International Moon Day today, and it marks the anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing, the first time that humans stepped on the surface of another world." This video from the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter shows the astronauts' track still there after all this time. On their official Instagram account, NASA shared 3 images of the lunar surface. In the caption, the space agency said their achievement was made possible by thousands of people who worked tirelessly toward a common goal as set by President John F. Kennedy in 1961 and dreamed of by civilizations of old. After their research, Apollo 11 astronauts also left behind a plaque which read, "Here men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon in July 1969 AD. We come in peace for all mankind." In sports this afternoon, star Indian batter KL Rahul on Thursday tested positive for COVID-19, which is likely to rule him out of the upcoming 5-match T20 series against the West Indies starting July 29 at Taruba. And as we continue this report, BCCI President Sourav Ganguly informed about Rahul after the board's Apex Council meeting there. Rahul on Thursday itself had addressed the candidates who attended the Level 3 coach certification course at the National Cricket Academy. They underwent a hernia operation in Germany recently and was being on bed rest for the ODI series against the West Indies starting Friday at Port of Spain. Ganguly also informed that a member of the Commonwealth Games bound India women's team was also down with COVID-19. He, however, did not disclose the name of the player. Rahul has been out of action since the completion of IPL 2022. He was supposed to lead the Indian team in the 5-match T20I series against South Africa at home in the month of June. And that is where we close our news package at this time. Thank you for joining us. Recapping our stories, the St. Catherine Health Department is again able to test the levels of chlorine in piped water. In the region, CARFA receives additional support from the United States government to implement a campaign to improve vaccination coverage. On the international scene, Neil Armstrong's footprints still visible on the moon's surface after 53 years. And in sport, KL Rahul doubtful for West Indies T20I series after BCCI president confirms batter tested COVID positive. Please remember to follow us on all our socials. For Instagram and Twitter, look for us at Suncity104.9 FM and Facebook Suncity Radio 104.9 FM. I am Maya Chung from the Suncity News Center. Stay tuned for more Inside Turn Up Friday with Sunjock Chrysonic. Remember to also keep it live here and locked as Suncity brings you all the information, developments, etc. from Sumfest in Montego Bay. Suncity Radio will be streaming live. Have a good afternoon.